Hello, dreamers. My name's Lisa, and I'm the Dreamwork coach. Today, we're here with Ann Bliss, who is a fellow Dreamworker and a dream student of Robert Moss, which is how I know her. And we're going to have a fun tea party today and discuss some dreams. Yay! Cheers! I'm trying to figure out how to cheers you. My hand disappears when I try to go over your side of the screen. Cheers. What kind of tea are you drinking?
Just mint.
Mint? I have mint mixed with green, so
it's so classical, but I have to say that mint tea is my favorite tea of all times. I even drink it in summer, like iced tea.
Oh well, yeah.
Make my own tea and then ice it because it's so fresh and I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I'm agreeing with you 100%. I put mint in everything. Like this is mint mixed with green because I want the caffeine because it's not nighttime here. What time is it where you are? Ann lives in Germany, so what time is it there?
It's 7 p.m. So already dark outside.
Oh boy, yeah, and it's 1 o'clock here in Ohio, so a bit of a time difference. So I appreciate you being here with us. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thanks.
So let me give everyone kind of an idea of who you are and give them a little bit of a background. And then we'll kind of dive into our discussions about dreaming and what it's like to be a dream worker. So today we're going to talk about how Ann got into dream work and what it's like to be a dream worker. But before we get into all of that, let's just get a bit of a background on Ann. Ann was born in 1985 in the German state of Saxony and moved to Berlin when she was 3. And she's been a typical city girl ever since. After high school, she went to the well-known Free University of Berlin to train as a library assistant. She enjoyed helping others further their education so much that she wanted to further her own qualifications, and then therefore went on to study information science with a focus on IT. The library landscape was changing at the time, and Ann wanted to move away from the classic book and towards knowledge networking. As a manager, she worked for 5 years at various library service providers in Berlin and the surrounding area. And it does not surprise me whatsoever to learn that Ann fought the stereotypes of her profession and published a book about the powerful image of librarians in comic books, which I love that so much. 4 years later, Ann met and married the love of her life, and 2020 was a turning point for her when she discovered active dreaming. Which brings us to our first topic. So, Ann, how did you discover active dreaming? And how did you end up becoming a dream worker? Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm happy to. So, some people might say it was just random, but I don't believe in coincidence. So, this year I began a shamanic medicine wheel training. And my shamanic teacher happens to be a dream teacher and learned at Robert Moss. So this was the first time when I got in contact to this theme, and I was instantly in love, I have to tell you. And I took a few conscious dreaming sessions with her, which she was doing at the time. And I really felt that there was some kind of calling to dreaming for me and to this medicine. And at the beginning, I was unsure, to be honest, if I just want to use it for myself, because of course it helped me a lot to understand my own dreams and so on. But as the time goes by, I really realized that I want to do more with dreams and with this special dream work. And I felt the need to become a real dream ambassador. So I decided to take on the dream teacher training as well, because I really felt the need to bring this dream magic into the world, and especially here in Germany, where the topic is kind of new, I would say. There are many people who are interested in spirituality and so on, but dreaming is really focused on the head, because we have in the German-speaking world this kind of history with Freud and all the psychologics. So for many people, dreams are, just intellectual stuff. and not so much a topic of the soul or emotions or many things more. So I really had the calling to kind of spread awareness what dreams can be and can be for you especially.
Mhm.
And after a while during the training with Robert, I realized, okay, I really believe what I'm doing, and I think I can teach this as well. So I took all the courage I have in me. It took a while,
It
but I wanted to
I
be
can
brave,
relate.
and I want to follow my heart. That's what I really wanted to do. So as I get more and more feedback from people I was working with, I really decided, okay, that's the one thing I really wanted to do in my life. So I became a full-fledged, self-employed Dreamwork coach.
That is amazing. Yeah, I can relate to a lot of what you said, especially the part about like getting that courage together, because it's such a unique thing, like a lot of people might not understand what it is, or wonder, like a lot of people think it's just this like crazy thing out in the ether, dream work, what, like you're going to do this for a living. So I commend you with that courage. And I completely understand.
Well, to be honest, it really bothered me that most people just think when you talk about dreams, it's all about analyzing stuff. I dreamt of a spider. What does the spider mean?
Exactly.
And I was like, no, that's not how this is working.
Yeah.
Because for me, that was a point. Most people, they didn't quite catch the depth that is in dreams, and they are so focused on generic, I don't know,
like dream dictionaries
about dreams and what special motives in dreams may mean for them. But for me, dreams are so individual and so personal. And it was in the Dream Teacher training that I really realized that nobody can tell you what your dream means, because it's your dream, of course. And everybody of us has his own dream language, and which depends on the things you experienced in life or what is most important to you and so on. So I really wanted to get away from generic stuff and wanted to do individual work with the people who have dreams and brought their dreams to me, because that's where the magic is, that's where this special gift is that you may collect. Because nobody dreams the same. Even if two people have the exact same theme in their dreams, it may mean two completely different things for them. So for me, this was kind of the missing link that I wanted to add and spread awareness about what's possible, and it really for me is about the respect, and even to take back your own ego, to be honest, and don't think you know better what the person needs than the person itself, so
exactly. So there's like a lot of people out there that think talking about dreams or hearing other people's dreams is like super boring, right? And they're like, you're telling me a dream, oh my god, please don't tell me. I know, because I've told my dream to plenty of people who react that way. I've been a crazy dreamer my whole life. But not us. Like, that's what a dream worker is there for. We love to hear your dreams. Like, it's like it fuels me to help other people work through their dreams, and I just love hearing other people's dreams. I think it's awesome. So how, like, since you've become a dream worker, do people like come to you? Like, how have things changed in your regular everyday life since you've become a dream worker?
So my friends, who are very scientific people, and most of them are very caught in their mind, not very emotional or spiritual at all. So I'm kind of a misfit in my between my friends. But most of them really, they often came to me and they say, hey, I had this dream and I just wanted to share. I don't want to analyze it or anything, but I just want to talk about this dream with you. And I was, wow, okay, so it works.
Yeah.
And this for me is just pure magic, because I really feel that there is this immense like craving for people to talk about this and to share their dreams and to talk about their dreams. And I really have the feeling that we all want a society where this topic is more valued, you know, and where it's kind of normal that when we stand up and we meet our family or our partner or child or whatever at the breakfast table, then everybody sits down and we just share the dreams we have. So I really like to have this image, and that's where I wanted to go. And I think the more we as dream teachers share this message and, you know, try to be the role model we want to see in the world, the more this vision becomes real. I really, really believe this.
I 100% agree. I think that like the biggest thing that changed for me is like I found my tribe of people. You know, once you, like you touched on it a second ago, like once you put yourself out there, similar things come back. And for me, it was just so nice because I used to feel so alone when it came to dreaming. Not that I felt alone in the world, but like I just felt like there was no one at all that could possibly understand the types of dreams I was having, and like just these, not even dreams, but experiences that I was having just tied to this dream world. And then I started taking Robert's classes, and I met all of you. And I'm like now in this new tribe of dreamers, like dream teachers. And it's so awesome. And like you said, like I've had very unexpected people come up to me and start talking about dreams now because they know I have this YouTube channel. And I didn't even know they watched it. You know, I don't know anyone watched my YouTube channel, but apparently they do. And they like come to me now and they're like, oh, I had the wildest dream last night. And that tells me too, that there is, you know, a hunger for this, that if there are people who are ready, they're absolutely ready for this content and for dream workers like us to come to. Because when I grew up, and I'm sure same with you, there wasn't anything. I mean, I read Robert's books. I read Conscious Dreaming back in the 90s when it came out, but it was just a book. There was no internet. I didn't know that I could go, you know, watch him talk somewhere. I just read a book. And I mean, I didn't know Robert back then. I just knew of this one book of this one guy that really made sense to me. So I was like super excited when I found out he taught dream teaching, not just dream work, dream teaching. So like now we can just build that tribe bigger. And that's my goal for sure. Let's keep building this tribe of dreamers so that we can get back to that, like you mentioned. So I'm curious to know some of your personal experiences with dreams and dreaming. I'm sure you have some good dream stories out there. Like, have you had any big dreams that changed your life? Like, what are some good dream stories you have?
Yeah, sure. So I already mentioned this before, but for me, one of the most, I would say, magic dreams I had was in the first module at Robert's class for dream teaching, because at the time, it was that time when I struggled with my everyday job. And it was the question which I had in mind to, you know, leap the step and trust myself enough to be self-employed or just stay in my job, which was nice. I really liked my job and I liked helping people, like you mentioned, but it wasn't my, you know, my heartfelt wish. It wasn't that I had the call to, yeah, it was just okay, you know. And I was really, blocked by this message and didn't know what to do. And that was the time when I experienced an incubated dream, where you put an intention to the universe or whatever you may call it, and then you go to bed and you go sleep. And I really had a dream which was so intense. It was very short. It was very short, but it just, it paralyzed me in a way, because I put the question for myself if I should go this path, if Dreamwork is my, soul path, which is a huge question.
It's a big one.
Of course. So I wanted to get guidance, and I got guidance. And to be honest, it's an interesting story, because the dream itself really frightened me at the moment. And it was about a woman. Now I know that it's a very popular figure in Mexican culture, La Catrina. But for me, it was just a woman with a skull, like the female death archetype. And I met her, and I was so afraid, because at this moment, I really thought I'm going to die. So this was just so bad omen for me, because I put a question to the world, and what comes is death. And I was, oh, okay. So at first I was, I think I know where this is heading, but, and here comes the thing, with dreams in general, there is no black and white and no right and wrong. And at the first moment, I had all these, fears of this figure in my head. And then I thought, okay, this is a dream. I asked for this dream. So I want to know what this death figure wants to tell me. Okay. And it was very tough at the moment, but I overcame my fear, and I stepped to this woman, and we have some kind of dialogue. And I realized, okay, I'm not going to die, fortunately. But it was a very symbolic message for me that something in my life had to die so I can overcome myself and become the person I want to be. And it was so transformational at this point. It just blew my mind. And I was, oh, okay, now I think I understand. And I really felt the truth in this. And I woke up afterwards and I realized, okay, I have my answer. And this really was, the tip of the iceberg to get all things rolling afterwards, and to really trust myself in this process, that I'm guided, and that this really, is my profession. And I think if I wouldn't have this dream, I'm not sure if I would have found the courage to really go this step, to be honest. This dream was the fire starter for me.
That's amazing. That's a really powerful technique, dream incubation. It's so simple too, but it's so powerful, because otherwise, like, if you might not have had that dream at all if you hadn't incubated it. And also it gives you that like lens to kind of narrow down what it means. Then it helps you with the interpretation, because instead of just getting this random dream of his death figure out of nowhere, that would be a lot more scary than looking at it with like, well, I asked this specific question. What does it mean in relation to that? Almost just like tarot cards, where you're asking a specific question. So what does the death card mean to that question? Obviously it means something needs to die, but not you, when you put it through that filter. So that's an amazing story. It got you to where you are now. A dream got you here to being like full-time dreamer.
Yeah, and I think it also is a really good example for me to show what dreams can do, because I in this situation, I was so stuck in my own head, and I was so intellectual, and I was so, in my consciousness and my daily life, and some people call it monkey head, so what should I do? What would be best? All the should things that seemed to be okay, but underneath I really felt that there was more, but I had problems to get in touch with my own emotions. And I knew that I had the answers within myself, but I needed some kind of gateway to get there. And this was the time where I really realized the power of dreams, which helped people like me at the time, of many, many more, to just, get in touch with themselves and what they want on a soul level, kind of. I think that dream work is way more than, just the big dreams, which are beautiful, but very rare.
Yeah, so, very.
I won't do that every day because now I have my clearness and I know what I want. But because you asked me, I really try to implement dream work in my everyday life. And it may be the small parts, which are the most interesting for most people, because not everybody has, a change of mind or want to change their job or so. Yeah. And so for me, it really is about playing with the dream topics and the synchronicities and not just falling asleep at night. And I really began, since I became a dream teacher for myself, to invite myself to play more with dreams in my daily life. So what does this mean?
What does this mean?
What does this mean? I'm giving you an example.
Thank you.
I'm giving you an example. It's so everyday life and so mundane, because I was sitting at my laptop and I was doing some research, and all of a sudden I realized, okay, at the moment I kind of I don't feel good. I'm a little fat, a little grumpy. I was, and yeah, of course, then you can just think for yourself what may be the reasons and have a look around. But I thought, okay, as simple as this is, I'm doing a synchronicity game, and I'm going to ask the universe, what should I do, or what can I do to feel better? And at the very moment, it's always awesome to do this and to just play with it. At the very moment, I heard on my iTunes a song which was played, and the song was called Tacos.
It was called what?
Tacos. Tacos,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love tacos.
And I really, it was a flash of lightning for me. And I realized, oh, okay, it was snack time and I hadn't eaten since the breakfast and I was starving. I didn't realize, because I was so in the flow writing, that I didn't realize I was hungry.
I've been in that flow before and you forget to eat. Yeah.
And and it was just a song about singing food that I realized, awesome. Oh, I'm hungry. I'm going to get a snack. And that's
Did you get tacos?
I didn't have one. Oh. I didn't have.
Imagine how happy you would have been.
I had to improvise on that part. Later this week.
Yeah.
But I just want to showcase, it can be as simple as this, just to open your mind and to open your awareness to the moment and really get the messages coming, as easy as they may seem,
Yep. Yeah. It's not always like the big dreams, like you said. Sometimes it's just simply eat a taco.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you were doing there, like playing games with the universe. And I know, like Robert calls it chiromancy. Maybe you can kind of touch on that a little bit. It seems like a good time to discuss how do you play a game with the universe? What are some options for people to do that? So dreaming, everyone always thinks about dreaming is sleeping at night and coming back with random, symbols and stuff. But apparently we can do that during the day too. Like maybe you can fill us in a little bit on that. I'm going to pretend like I don't know about it.
Ooh, I try.
Explain it to me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, so for me, the synchronicity game, or chiromancy as Robert calls it, really is, it's the best. Just to sum it up, because for most people, in my experience as a dream coach, this is the easiest way to get in touch with the topic of dreams. You know, for many people I know, it's hard to remember their dreams, or to grab a special dream and dive into it and have all the process with the symbols and so on. So here in Germany, this, as I mentioned, it might be a cultural thing, I'm not sure, but many people I know really are caught in their mind and in their head, and they are desperate to get a chance to get into feeling again, you know. And I think that synchronicity game is a really lovely idea to play with this idea, and not to have it feel like you have to work for something. This is what I love. It's a game. Everybody loves games, fun. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, I love games.
So generally what synchronicity game means is that you put a question onto the world. You can go within yourself and you can formulate a sentence or a wish that you have at this very moment. And then there are different kind of ways. I prefer to just have a walk, to go outside if you have the chance to, and just with this question in mind, you really for yourself set the intention, whatever comes into my field is a direct answer to the question I put forward. And you really try to open up to this idea. So you go for a walk and you just be aware, you know, and you try to be open, and maybe you see a bumper sticker on a vehicle, or you met a person or a friend that's giving you an advice you didn't ask for, but you realize in this very moment, okay, this really matches to my question. So
it's wild.
Yeah, so it's hard to describe because it's so individual, but it can be anything. It can be, of course, a bumper sticker, or I don't know, a marketing, advertising thing you see in the streets. It can be an animal that you see that seems kind of, you know, following you around, or which catches your attention. I think this is really the magic which is key to your question. But for me, it's this lovely invitation to, you know, go for a walk with a dream. Yeah. So you can somehow imagine it like this. And for me, like I told the story with the song I heard, it can be at home if you don't have the possibility to go outside. I mean, we're in difficult times, you know, most people are at home office or so on. Then there is a very basic game which depends on the synchronicity game, and it's bibliomancy. So you just, if you have books on a shelf, I hope you have.
Most of us have at least one.
I hope you have many books. You can just go there, and then you close your eyes, and as I mentioned, you just set an intention or set a question to the world that you want guidance on. And then you grab a book. Don't look too harsh. Just grab a book that feels right. And then you close your eyes and you open the book at any page, any random page that feels convenient for you. And then you can just take your finger and scroll over the page. And when you think, okay, that feels good, then you just stop, open your eyes, and you read the sentence or the whole page. And then you think, okay, this is the answer to my question. It works.
That's also very powerful. I did this the other day too. I posted it in one of our groups. You might have seen it. I do real estate photography, and sometimes I'm in staged houses that are really pretty. You know, they've like staged it really nice. And they always use these just random books that they pick up at like thrift stores or whatever, like old books that look cool. And they're just there to look cool in the staging. So whenever I'm doing that, I like to play bibliomancy. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. All these random books, I didn't even pick them out. Like, this is great. So I did it the other day, and the result was, I think it said something like, get out and play, will you? Like, that was like the sentence I landed on. I was like, oh, perfect. Like, yeah, get out of your head, get out and play, go play, have fun. I was like, oh, that's the perfect thing I needed to hear at the time. So it is wild how like crazy that works. It really works.
It really works. We can invite everybody of you watching, just try it out. It's
Let's
phenomenal.
Let's do it right now.
For myself, I did the bibliomancy game 2 days ago to share this story, and it was so fitting because I was a little uneasy with a business decision I wanted to make, and I was unsure if I should make the deal or not. Of course, again, a huge question, but I thought, well, let's try and get guidance on this question. So I go to my bookshelf and I grab a book and I open it and I read the line, and I burst into laughter because the sentence to my question, what should I do in general, was wait and drink tea. So this was a sentence. It was in a dialogue section. Yes.
Cheers.
It was so
everything.
Awesome. I mean, it was more literal. It cannot get, could it?
Yeah, that is.
It was the best advice I could give myself. So, yeah. So
like that is like an actual answer to a question. Wait and drink tea. Like that is an actual. Like it's almost like shaking up an 8 ball that just says like something so perfect. Oh my God, that is great. Yeah, so everyone go try it right now. And then leave us in the comments. Tell us what it is.
We know you want to.
Yeah, go do it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Somebody, I think Robert maybe posted the other day, like, let's play this game. And it was like, go to page 22, line 14. I don't remember exactly what it was. So that's another way you can do it too, is to just like, everyone can play the same game by going to like, pick any random book, go to page 48, line 5. So everyone do that. Go to page 48, line 5. What's it say? You know, see if it does anything for you. Ask a question first. So basically, bibliomancy and these games with the universe are very similar to dream incubation, which you touched on earlier. It's just while you're awake as opposed to when you're asleep. So it's kind of cool. Like sometimes I use chiromancy as a way to get more information on a night dream that I had. So if I wake up with this crazy night dream, I'm like, what does that mean? I've had some really, wild ones. I have no idea what they mean. Then I'll go and, walk with it, or, catch the first 3 things that I see and use those to help, add to the dream, like try to figure it out, or the bibliomancy. We should add that Robert has an awesome book on this called Sidewalk Oracles. And it's full of games to play with the universe. These are my favorite too. So you touched on my favorite too. I actually gave the book to my mom and she loves it. So I don't have it to flip through right now, but it's full of awesome games to play with the universe. So I'd highly suggest that book. I'll put a link to it in the comments below, because this will be on YouTube.
Definitely. I think what I like most about this is that it feels so playful, and it really, for me, this is the essence of Dreamwork. It's not all about the seriousness of life.
Yeah, I know.
It's about having fun, with your own dreams, but with yourself too. And I really feel like a little child when I do these games, because I feel remembered when I was younger, and it felt so effortless to dream and to play games and, have fantasies and all the stuff. And I really like this, that these games kind of resonate with my inner child to wake up again.
For sure. Yeah. And it needs to stay fun. Like I try to keep it fun and lighthearted on the channel too, because I don't want it to be like, I have to study dreams. It's Dreamwork. It sounds like work, but it's not. It's like play, It's not It doesn't need to be work. It should be fun. And if it's not fun, then don't do it. I'm not going to force you to do it.
Definitely.
For me, it's a ton of fun. So,
and I really like your impulse to get, second guidance on a dream you had when you were unsure what it means for you, because I had a similar experience with a dream which was very intense and had a very straight figure. So I had something to grab on, but this figure for me, there was no click and no kind of similarities. So I was thinking, what does it mean? And I, for myself, I really love this, to just play with colors, to just, give some more suggestions, what we can play with. Because in my dream, it was about crabs. Okay, so crabs obviously are red. And I really love the color red, but I don't like crabs so much. So
I like to eat them.
I was, what should I do with this?
They taste good.
But of course, as I really like the color red, I had lots of red clothes in my wardrobe. So I put on red clothes, all in red. And I just started my day all in this red clothing. And I just kind of, swing with the energy of the dream. And I was open to whatever want to come to me. And it really, funny enough, this day I really got a lot of messages coming through, but they really helped me to grab the essence of the dream. And I'm sure if I haven't done this with the color thing to, keep it alive somehow and to play with it, I'm not sure if I would have gotten there, to be honest. So
yeah, that's a big part of active dreaming, is acting on the dream. It is active dreaming. And that's what makes it fun too, to me. It is like you're actively working with your dreams and bringing them into this world somehow. And this goes into like the next topic we were about to talk about, is like our daily routines and, a day in the life of, a dream worker, and how do we work with dreams every day? And like the last step for me is always to act. You got to act on that dream. So like you said, one way to do it is to you picked up on a color in your dream, so you dressed all in red. Another way for me is like just talk to people about the dreams. Like luckily we're part of a lot of dream groups online, where it's full of people who know all about dreaming and dream work, where we can post, our dream stories and even our artwork. Like sometimes I make artwork with my dreams, and obviously journaling and doing bumper stickers and things like that. But getting into that topic, so can you explain like a day in the life? Like what's your process, for your personal process for dream work? How does that look for you?
Okay, so for me, it's dream journaling first, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have to know that right away, otherwise I somehow forget it.
I'm saying, so same.
When I wake up, I'm not so much of an early bird, to be honest. So I wouldn't be able to really draw or write things down. You couldn't read it later on. So I have my phone and my memo, and I'm just talking into my phone to kind of remember the dream. So I have it down, you could say. And then for me, it depends on the dream and how I feel like, to be honest. I record my dreams later on. I cannot do it every day. I kind of sum them up, and then once a week or so, I will write them down. But for me, maybe because I'm a librarian, so I really like to look things up and to do some research on things. Mostly I dream of locations that I knew or not have been there yet. Who knows? So I really like to, do a little research. Do these places exist in real life, and how do they look like, and can you get there? So this kind of stuff. Or when I dream about a symbol, or lastly, I heard some kind of melody in my dream. It was very auditive, which was new for me, to be honest.
Nice.
So I had this song when I woke up, and I was, where does this song come from? And then I just try to, evaluate if this really exists or not. And yeah, I think this is the first part for me to kind of get my personal relationship with the dream to have more to grab on.
Yeah.
So I like to do research for nearly everything. I mean, we live in a town where Google is available. So
That's awesome.
you really can find a lot of things that, most people don't know of. And then I really, I try to do my dreams, like you said, to bring them in my daily life. And for me, it's about physicality, because, I'm also a person who really thinks a lot, talks a lot, and is all here in this area stuck. So I really enjoy to have some, body experience, kind of doubled with a dream. So I, for myself, invented a little technique, which I call dream dance or dream theater, whatever the dream was and how long it was. If it's just a sequence or a picture that you remember when you woke up, I try to embody it in the literal sense. I close my eyes and I try to remember the picture, which was more stunning for me, most stunning. And then I try to give this dream a movement. And I do a gesture or do a little, kind of flowy dance maybe. Mm-hmm. And I really, it helps me to get a feeling for the dream and to make it material in a way.
Yeah. To act myself. On it, right? To bring it
I really try to embody this dream for me. I have realized that this really helps me to ground myself and the dream. And it's also a really nice routine. I don't do sports or yoga or stuff. I do, dream dance in the morning.
I like it. The dream dance game. I like it.
I really love that Dreamwork, if you really go with the flow. It makes you so super creative. And I always felt creative as I wrote stories and always I just write stories. But for me, it's another way to express myself and to express things. So since I began with Dreamwork, I really have the feeling that I am more creative and I'm more, I felt more courage to just try something new out, like the dance thingy, I really like to move myself. But before the Dream Teacher training, I would have never gotten the idea to just, embody a dream.
I know.
So I really awesome. Like how playful this feels. And
Yeah, dreaming really kind of opens us up to that, that childhood magic that we used to have, that sense of just play and imagination. And it opens us up to a whole different world, really.
Yes.
Where you're a new person.
Yes. And also, of course, in our everyday life, like you said, often I just talk about my dream with other people who want to hear it, of course.
Yes.
So we have we are so lucky that we have each other to share ideas, and of course have another person who can give you feedback, which is perfect. But sometimes if I had a dream and maybe I even dreamt of a person and I have the urge or the need and I wake up and I thought, I should just call this person and, ask how they are doing, then I will just do that. I really, I just like to talk about dreams too. I like to talk in general, so
yeah.
Dreams is perfect.
I know,
but it really depends. On the topic, I think. So I think the most important part is not so much of a routine for everyday life, like how I start in a day when I do the embodiment thing, I think the most important thing to keep in touch with your own dreams is to, keep it steady. I think this is the secret. And this is the one which was the most tough one for me, to be honest, at the beginning, because I thought, well, I'm going to remember this dream. Of course, I'm going to remember this dream.
Yeah.
It was
Rookie
so intense.
mistake. Yep.
And 3 days later, I was sitting there. What was this dream about?
Oh, 3 hours later for me, if that. And
Yeah.
It's gone. If I don't write it down immediately, it's gone.
It was a learning process. But for me, the interesting part really is to catch it right when you have it.
Yeah.
And when you have noted it and written it down, then over time, you really can make your connections. And this is what is so fascinating for me, because I think the most practical part to keep a diary, a dream diary, is to not only remember your own dreams, but to see if there are any connections, if a dream is repeating itself, or, I myself realized that I had dreams from my own car, in regular intervals over the years, again and again. And I couldn't remember until I saw it on paper. So I was, maybe there's a pattern here, It really is interesting, and it helps you to understand yourself and your dreams better if you understand that they may be connected somehow.
Yeah, how long have you been keeping a dream journal?
Ooh, good question. Trying to remember. Well, to be honest, I think 2 years ago, I started to kind of do it straight every day. So 2 years ago, I really had all of the stuff written down. Before that, I had some dreams which were never recorded and somehow get lost. And so I think, 2 years ago was the marking point for me. And since then, I'm really doing it.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. I'm lucky. I've been keeping my dreams since, well, there was huge gaps in here, but 1994 is my first dream journal. And this is it. I have it laminated, and I typed it. You can't really see because of the background. And I drew pictures. I have that's a roller coaster. I don't know. I was 13, maybe 12, 1994. I'm not sure. I can't do the math. Oh, 15. This says I was 15.
Wow.
So yeah, when I was 15, I was already, starting to write down my dreams because they were so crazy. And then I moved into this is mine from 1999. It was all handwritten. I can't believe I managed to do that. It's not scribbled crazy. It's just all handwritten perfectly. No, I can't do that now. So now I do what you do, and I put them on my phone. I type them out on my phone. And then once a week, I wish, once a year, I'll print it out into something that looks like this. They're all called Guinea Pig Manifesto. Because I had a dream one time that I wrote a book called Guinea Pig Manifesto. And it was so I title all of my dream journals Guinea Pig Manifesto. And I just print them out. So the guys over at Kinko's have a fun time, I'm sure, when they print this out for me every year. What is this weird Guinea Pig Manifesto that comes in every year? It's so weird.
I love it. But you see, Lisa, this is a perfect example how you manifest a dream, right? You had this dream and now you publish your own book with this time.
I honored that dream for the rest of my life by calling all of my journals Manifesto.
Loving it.
But my point being, I have digitized all of this. So as of whenever I started doing this, I don't know when I started typing them on my phone a couple years ago. But I took all my old journals too, and I typed them out and put them into a Word document. So they're all digitized. And now I have this huge library going back to 1994 that I can type in, which I think we talked about, you do this too. where you can type in like a keyword and find alligator. Like, geez, I keep dreaming of alligators. What is up? So if I type in alligator, it'll pull up every dream I've had since 1994 with an alligator in it. And then that's your personal dream dictionary too. Like you have this whole like lifetime supply of dreams to look back on, and symbols and coincidence, like not coincidences, but you can see where it's popped up so many times and start to see patterns. And that can help you kind of like figure out what is going on with this alligator. Like, what does it mean to me in my dreams? So to me, dream journaling is the biggest thing. If anyone wants to like start getting into dream work, that's where I think probably all of us would suggest they start, is start keeping a journal, you know?
Definitely. And I need to be honest. Most people told me, well, you need to do this. And I was, I don't need I don't need this. I can memorize all my dreams.
Yeah, I'm special. I don't need that.
No. So
I agree.
It was a learning experience. No, I didn't. So I started to really do it on an honest way. But wow, I'm jealous. I really wish I had done this before, to be honest. Because but better late than sorry. So you can
for
start
sure.
any time, and
2 years is a lot.
Yes.
You're well on your way to.
And the fascinating thing about a dream diary for me is that it really helps you remember your dreams too. So it's not just an experience that I made myself. Most of my friends, which I talked to about dream diaries, kind of started doing them, and they were like, now I think I really can remember my dreams, once a week or twice a week. And before that, they couldn't remember anything for weeks or months even. So I think that alone, to set yourself the intention to remember your dream and writing them down really kind of gets you into this mood and into this attention for your own dreams too.
Yeah, it's almost like a memory exercise. Like I can imagine, I don't keep a daily journal normally, like a normal one, which is funny because I remember my life based on my dreams, because that's all I write down. I don't write down like what I was doing in my life. I have no idea, but I can tell you what I was dreaming about in 1994. But I think just the act of like writing it down helps you, like trains you into thinking I have to remember more because every day I write this down. So somehow your brain is like, oh, you got to remember this because you got to write it down. Like it's a habit at that point.
Yeah.
Probably regular journaling is really good for lots of reasons too. For this reason. But yeah, I don't do that. That's boring.
I'm just curious, Lisa, what is the oldest dream that you remember for yourself, or that you?
Well, I have one that I didn't write down. It was way before 1994. And I was just telling someone about this not that long ago. But it was, I was in a yellow room with no walls, no doors or windows. So it's just all yellow walls enclosed. I couldn't get out. And I was in there riding a bicycle with a baboon in circles. And that was it. I couldn't get out. And there was this baboon. And it all was from this book that I had called the Bee Book that was all about the color, like bananas were in it, baboons were in it, bicycles were in it. So I think that's where that came from.
Maybe.
But it is the first dream I can remember.
Wow.
I was very young. I was learning how to read because I had that book. Yeah.
I think I was trying to remember the first dream I could remember. Well,
yeah.
I think for me it was kind of not a daydream, but this hypnagogic state between dreaming and being awake before you fall asleep. And I think I was 6 or 7 years old. And I really remember it because it was a nightmare.
Oh, no.
And it was, I think, because I kind of lurked into a horror movie my parents were watching, which I was too young to watch, of course, but I kind of lurked around the corner and I wanted to take a peek. And it was super scary. I think, it was about, apes, gorillas.
Oh, no.
So Yeah, but not the kind ones. So
I figured.
I remember dreaming that I lay in my bed and I opened my eyes because I heard some noise in one of the corners. And when I look around, I see this huge gorilla silverback sitting there and just staring at me. And it was
that
so
gives me some not good
terrifying.
chills. Yeah.
I think I fall asleep later on, but it felt so real when I woke up the next day. I really was sure that there was a monkey in my room.
Because you don't know. You don't know when you're a kid. Like you're kind of living in between the worlds, you know, like you're still very attached to that world and you don't know. When I was young, I remember this might have been the first dream, actually. I don't know. I remember dreaming that I could float down the basement steps. I'd just jump and float to the bottom, and it was wonderful. And then during the day, I thought I could do this. I didn't know it was a dream. I thought I could do it. And my mom was downstairs doing laundry in the basement. And I was like, Mom, I want to jump down the steps. Like, I can float. She's like, what? I was like, just watch, I'm going to do it. And for some reason I didn't do it. I don't know why I didn't do it, but I realized like I can't do that in like real life. But this was like my first, you know, real life, you know, experience where I'm like, oh, dreams are different than reality. That's weird. Like when I go to sleep, I can do things I can't do because I must have been very young then too, to not know that yet. Like this was how I figured that out. Luckily, I didn't jump. She must have come out and figured out what I was doing, or someone realized I was about to jump down the steps. I'm so glad I don't have kids. Oh my God. I don't know how my mom like survived me. But yeah, when you're young, I mean, those worlds are so like tied together.
Definitely. And later on, now we kind of remember ourselves that dreams are not so much separated from this world, but it's a process to remember this. Yes.
It is. Yeah. I remember too, like when I was younger, I swore a witch walked up and down my hallway. It was a witch. I could hear it walking up and down the hallway, and it would just stop and stand in front of my door, which was shut. And like in my head, it was a witch. I don't know what it like. Must have been that hypnagogic zone kind of thing that you're talking about. Cause I know I was awake, but there's a witch also in the hallway, which I know now was a dream. So, or maybe not. Now I know it could have been real. Oh
you never know.
Now I know like there's a very thin veil that witch probably walked through. Oh, that's even more terrifying.
But it wasn't Halloween, was it?
No, it was a recurring thing. It happened all the time.
Okay.
I think what I was hearing, like I was hearing footsteps, but I think it was my heart beating. I think I was hearing my heartbeat. And in my head, I'm translating that into, oh, it's a witch in the hallway.
Of course.
I had a wild imagination. I still do.
Oh man, that's awesome.
That was a good tangent. So Ann.
Welcome back.
A lot of people who watch the channel and who, you know, would come to you even probably, I'm sure, for advice on dreaming. Their biggest issue is that they don't remember their dreams, or they haven't remembered their dreams since they were little kids. And I would call that a dream drought, you know, like when you're having a hard time remembering your dreams, even from when you were a little kid. Do you have any advice on like how to start remembering your dreams again, or to break a dream drought? Even I have dream droughts. Sometimes it's nothing to be ashamed of. It happens to all of us, where I'll have like a week or even a month where my life is so stressful or something's going on, I don't remember anything. So what would your advice be for people like that?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, been there, know this too. Being a dream teacher doesn't mean that you always remember every dream you had during the night, just to make sure. Yeah. So there are, I think, quite a few tips I gave people who have a dream drought, like you could call it. For me, the most important part is when you wake up, the very moment when you wake up in the morning, don't just jump out of bed and start into the day. Just take your time and lie there, stay in bed for a little while and keep your eyes closed and just, take your time to really try to grab any pictures of feelings or emotions or whatever things you have in mind. I think this is the most important part, to not, drop out of this dream routine into your daily life, but to really take your time in the morning to, see if anything might come back. And for me, it's important that a dream is not always about having pictures or seeing things, because I know a lot of people, myself included, which dream very, emotionally, or which wake up and they, I don't know, remember a scene from their childhood, or they have some kind of memory. So really open yourself to the idea that a dream in this moment is whatever fragment might be there. It might be a memory, it might be a scent, a sound, a picture at best, but maybe it's, just the feeling. Don't overlook the little things. This would be my advice. Take whatever is there and write it down. Your emotions, how you feel, very important in Dreamwork is how you feel about a dream. So I really invite you to write down everything that is there and try to be patient, even if you have the feeling that it's not enough. It's always enough. Okay, be kind to yourself. I know this from myself. So don't expect too much from yourself. It might help to take off the pressure just to, be patient. And as I mentioned, really take your time in the morning and to, note how you feel. And also it might help if you still lie in bed, of course, when you just, move around and see if you can find the position that you liked before when you had this dream, because I'm really sure that we as human beings, we have some kind of body memory. So sometimes when you get in the position where you were before, when you had this dream, there might be that memories are coming back when you find your position again. It's,
it's so weird that works, but it does.
Yeah.
I've tried that one before, and I just learned about that not that long ago. It's shocking how much that works.
Yes. So I would invite you to do this, and especially for me, it's in the morning, the routine, as I mentioned. Take your time and write down everything that you remember, and don't just focus on pictures. Everything that you remember might also be, like I mentioned, a feeling or a distant thought. And we had this topic before, even if it's just a color, a sense of a color, you can always take that color with you and play with this color, like we mentioned before in the synchronicity game, and dress yourself in this color and, see what this may bring up. So, and also for me, which really works fine, is the most challenging part of it all, is your mindset. For me, it's the mindset, because if I start in my night thinking I cannot remember my dreams, then I'm programming myself that I cannot dream. Which may sound easy. It's not, I know. But I think at the very beginning, it might be helpful to really be aware of your thoughts and try to skip this thought that you cannot dream completely. If you go to bed, we had this before, you can just play with an intention, or which, with a powerful mantra or mention or sentence, you close your eyes and you really believe when you think, I will remember my dream. So, and it's not a sense in the future or so. I don't not think I want to, or, remember my dream. You are thinking it as if it were already true. So I will remember my dream. You go to bed and you say to yourself, I will remember my dream or my dreams.
Yeah.
And then you just be sure that this may be your truth, because you're making it your truth at this very moment. And it may take some time. For many people I know, it may be 2 weeks. But if you do this every evening, again and again and again,
Yeah.
it's
the repetitiveness.
Yeah, the repetitive is king here. And it really, really helps to set yourself a new mindset that you are able to remember your dreams.
I would add it helps to keep that, however you're going to record your dreams. Like if you sleep with your phone next to you, which I know you're not supposed to do, but I do it because I write my dreams down in it. Or, put a piece of paper and a pen by your bed, because that's kind of reiterating, I'm going to remember them so much, I'm going to have to write them down. So be ready to write them down and be ready to receive them. I think helps too with that visualization, when I wake up, I'm going to use this because I'm going to remember my dreams and write something, anything down on them. For sure.
And I think last but not least, the most fun part for us, which was already mentioned, is try to stay open to the idea that dreaming is not only what happens at night. I think this really can help set your mind free, because for most people it's just the nighttime. And when you start to open yourself to the idea that dreams are in everyday life, not just in the night, when you wake up, when you have tea at breakfast or coffee or whatever you like. If you talk to your family, your partner, your kids, when you go to work or to school or university, whatever, the whole day is filled with dreams. And when you open yourself up to the idea that you are constantly in a waking dream, and there are symbols and synchronicities, and you can play with this stuff, it really, really helps to get an easy relationship with your own dreams, and not have the problem to be so stuck in the I want to remember my dream. I think it's really, for most people, is a problem. They are so focused on what should be that they don't see the possibilities that they are already there, and it might help to kind of step back a little bit and open your eyes to the whole of your daily life, and just see, okay, what are the first things that come into my vision when I go to work? Or what are the first sentences I hear when I put on the radio? Just be aware and see if this might ring a bell for you.
I couldn't agree more. That last tip is huge. And I think that also helped my mom, break a really long dream drought. Was she read that book of Robert's Sidewalk Oracles and started, trying to play some games with the universe, and just even just thinking about it, seemed to unlock something where you start to just get into the groove of daydreaming in a way. And that just really opens the gates for the nighttime dreaming too. It's worked for me. It seems to have worked for her. You're suggesting it too. So I think that's a huge one. If you're not remembering night dreams, play around with some daydreams, play around with the universe. Let it know you're ready to accept these messages and dreams. And it unlocks the floodgates. It really does.
Yeah, totally. You cannot lose anything here. That's what I'm saying. It's just winning. So
what's the harm in
having
trying?
more fun?
There's no harm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now that you are a dream worker and you're doing this for your job? How are you spreading Dreamwork to people? How are you bringing Dreamwork into the world and helping other people with that?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying my best. Well, for me, I think everyone has a very personal relationship with Dreamwork, and everyone is going their or her own way. But for me, it really is to really try to just be myself. I think it sounds easier than it is, actually. But I think I'm open to talking about Dreamwork because, of course, I'm loving to talk about Dreamwork, but I don't want to, push my thinking of the world over people who are not interested in this. Because in my experience, I know a lot of people who think they are the only ones who knew the answer to everything. And I don't want to be such a person. So I'm not, missionizing everybody. Yeah. Ooh, Dreamwork is nice. Come get Dreamwork. No, that's not my way of doing it. For me, it's mostly, bringing awareness to the topic of dreams. And because I think, like I mentioned, here in Germany, it's kind of new and somehow weird, and people don't know how to make anything out of it. So I really try to give emphasis on the dreams, be a dream ambassador in the best sense, and be the ambassador of the dream, theme. And I have a blog on my website, which would hopefully stand here.
Yes.
And I try to just begin with bringing awareness to the topic of dreams and what dreams are and can be, and what this is all about. And I think this is the first step. And besides from bringing awareness to the topic, I really, for myself, like to get in touch with people I meet. And this could be friends of friends, not so much parties at the time, of course, but in general, everybody knows a person who knows a person, and so on. Mm-hmm. And for me, it really is, it's this kind of topic to just talking about what I'm doing and how I see the world, and then let the other person decide if they are with me or not. I think this for me felt more natural. And I hope someday to broaden my audience, to have a little YouTube channel myself, like you did.
I hope you do.
My role model, Lisa.
Oh, Shaw.
So for the German-speaking community to, have a platform where they can get this information too. And I really try to, at the moment, to make some connections and, just talk about the topic. And I think here in Germany, it's more of a thing, because most people knew lucid dreaming. It's kind of popular, you can tell.
Oh, well. Mm-hmm.
And for many people, I think it's kind of, hard to see the difference, if there might be a difference. For me, there is a little difference. It might be a personal point of view, but to stand on my own and to declare that dreams, as I mentioned before, dreams are not just a thing that your psychologist may interpret, but it's for everyone and every day. Mm-hmm. And I really want to emphasize on this side of Dreamwork, to let people know that dreams are very individual. And I really like to help people understand their own dreams in their dream language they have. Mm-hmm. And not so much, giving a generic answer and just grab my money and go, because I'm not Freud. And I don't want to be. So spreading awareness. I think it's a wide topic, but for me, in my daily life, it really is trying to let people understand that dreaming is more than just being asleep at night, and that dreaming can be so much more and so powerful and have so much potential for healing and transformation. And yeah, I think we all have a long way to go. But on my part, yeah, I think every one of us should be the role model they want to see in the world. And for myself, that's why I'm keeping up, and I want to, post about dream content and make people curious to want to know more about this work.
So speaking of, how do people find your content? Like, how, if I wanted to read your blog or find you or work with you, like what would I do?
Mostly all stuff is on my website, which will be here.
I'll put it on the screen right here. Yeah. I'll put a link to it as well, so people can just click on it.
And I have a blog post every month.
Excellent.
And also, of course, I'm on social media, I'm on Facebook, and you can WhatsApp me or Signal me or whatever is the messenger of your choice if you want to get in touch in personal. I think I'm more of a one-on-one person because, like we talked about earlier, I think it's problematic to find a topic that fits for everyone, and because dreams are so personal.
Yeah.
I really like to work with people one-on-one, so you can deep dive and have everyone
and really start with where someone is. Like, if someone came to you and was like, I don't even remember dreams, versus someone who's like, I have too many, you would approach those in like two different ways. So it would be nice to work on that one.
For example, or I have some clients who are very who are artists, and they really wanted to grab the inspiration from their dreams to make something with it for the work or just as a hobby. So it's the palette is so immense, and that's what I love about dreaming. I think that's the challenge and the most magic we can get from. Also, before I forgot, I wanted to mention for all the English-speaking audience we have between us, I have a plugin on my website. So if you are not from Germany, then your language should automatically switch to English. So you should be able to read my content.
It does for me. Yes, that does work. When I go to your website, it just automatically switches. For a second, it's in German. I'm like, oh no. And then it does switch over.
That was the plan.
Yes. So no matter what language you speak, you should be able to. Does it translate from all languages or just English?
I started with English because
that's
it's the most common word.
Yeah. Very good.
If any of you happens to be in Germany in September, I don't know why, but maybe chances are.
Could be.
I'm going to be on a huge fair,
Trying to look excited,
which is called Spiritualität und Heilen. In English, it would mean spirituality and healing. And it's a huge fair in Berlin. And I'm going to be there and have a little stand. And you can, if you're in the area or in the country, then feel free to visit me and say hi and, get to me in person, hopefully. And you can drop all of your questions there, and, I'm available. And I will be there. So come and say hi. I would be happy to.
That's super cool. Maybe someday we'll meet in person too.
Yeah, I hope so.
I feel like I know you so well, and I've only ever seen you on a little screen. Someday we'll be able to give each other hugs. It'll be nice.
We just dream. we can dream each other into. We can dream this into existence, and we can, can make out an appointment in our dreams. That's also a thing you can do, with Dreamwork.
Yeah. We'll get together and do this again sometime and go down some bigger rabbit holes. with stuff like that.
Let's meet
You know,
there.
dreams of the multiverse and, you know, parallel.
Ooh, yeah.
My favorite topic. My favorite. But those are things you kind of got to work up to a little bit sometimes.
Okay.
First, you got to remember your dreams. Then you can get into that stuff. Awesome. All right. Well, I guess that is it. So thank you, Anne, for being here and sharing all of this wonderful knowledge with us and letting us know what you do. Yeah, you're welcome. Happy dreaming. I'm waving, but you can't see. There.
Here.
That's funny. You have to put it here. It disappears. Oh, there.